Good morning, Don't Unfriend Me Nation. I hope you had a great 4th of July weekend. Your head is clear. You have all your fingers. That would be a good thing. And I know while you were setting off fireworks and having a few drinks, you may have missed the news. And this is my job to bring it to you. My name is Matthew Sperry. I'm the host of Don't Unfriend Me. Good to have you here. We talk about current events, world topics, everything else. You can stop by the DUMShow.com, take a look at some of our old library, pick up yourself up a cool shirt like this one, coffee, mugs, all that. 10% goes back to veterans. Use code DUM10, DUM10. Now let's go ahead and go into the white substance. Now, the press had a field day with this. Now, the White House is called the White House for various reasons, but essentially it's marble-like structure and days of Athens, Greece, and reminiscent of the major accomplishments of the Acropolis. The White House is considered to be one of the most intimidating places, especially Washington, D.C., and it used to be because of the monoliths that stood there that were a testament to our country and the strength of our nation. Well, now it's because of obviously the money and the swamp that run rampant, and Washington, D.C. is built on a swamp, go figure. But now the White House is called the White House because a white powdery substance, now not what you usually think of, and the Secret Service that's coming online and watching this right now, welcome. The white powdery substance known as anthrax seems to always be in the news. So people were sent it in the envelopes, and usually when a very large piece of legislation goes through that sides disagree with, all of a sudden it seems like the anthrax production plant seems to go in overtime. But in this case, I immediately was suspect when I started reading all the articles and seeing it on the news that it was a white substance, or they called it cocaine hydrochloride. And the first thing that I thought of when I heard of cocaine hydrochloride is, well, this has got to be something that's has some sort of connection, a chemical that was used, maybe a cleaning solvent or whatever. And this is just a mistake, right? Maybe somebody had it on their shoes and they're a Walter White, or maybe a crack dealer came in on the White House and passed the inspection. Something happened, because the one thing about the White House, it has many fail safes, many systems, whether it's surface to air missiles on the top or snipers on the top or anti-jamming radar or a full battalion of Marines underneath the White House, whatever it is. And we know that there are various, if not all of those things. One thing they also have is the purification system and the air filtration system at the White House is exceptional. To the point where it can actually operate during non-optimal conditions, and that being intense fire, whether there's some sort of chemical agent used or a nuclear attack and there's fallout. There's an ungodly high-quality filtration system that also takes microparticles in the air and analyzes them. So in case someone tries to bring in a nerve agent or something else or a virus, this stuff can recognize small amounts of trace chemicals in the air or on surface or on people's person. And this is exactly what happened, is that there was a recognized substance, a controlled substance, or a substance that is a no-no for that system, and they evacuated the White House. So can you imagine that conversation? Joe Biden's sitting there on a 4th of July, and he's just like, it's going to be great. I'm going to go to Scranton. I'm going to go to Delaware. I'm going to go on more vacation. And then someone says, Mr. Biden, we have to evacuate. He's like, why do we have to evacuate? He's like, is there an attack? Is it another 9/11? He's like, is somebody on the White House lawn? Did someone flash their boobs again to the White House press? No, sir, we found cocaine. What? And you can imagine that if Joe Biden had a coherent thought, that he would be like, oh my, the optics of this are going to look horrible. Of course, people are going to blame Hunter, because Hunter's been in the White House. Hunter has been there for 4th of July weekend. Hunter has been there for the last month. He was there for Pride. I guess he's working in the White House. So of course the connection, and I don't care about Hunter Biden, but the connection is going to be, cocaine, Hunter Biden, and maybe not cocaine, but cocaine hydrochloride, a chemical agent of a certain type of cocaine. Wait a second. What happens if you take cocaine and hydrochloride and you mix it together? What do you get? An ammonia. Well, you get crack. So now you've got the media spitting that it's cocaine hydrochloride. Then they changed it today to a white powdery substance known as cocaine. Then they say it was in the library off to the side, and it's an open area. First of all, there is no such thing as an open area anywhere within the White House. Within 2 miles of the White House, there's no such thing as an open area. Everything is background checked. Everything's security gated. You are searched when you go in and searched when you go out. There is absolutely no way some guy off the street, like Dave Chappelle in a skit, goes in there and drops a bag of cocaine. There obviously is somebody in there who's using the nose candy. And your first assumption, of course, is going to be Hunter Biden. And why wouldn't it be? This guy has had a problem with drugs his entire life. And let's not make it sound like it's something in the past. This guy's laptop had more porn on it than Pornhub. By the way, Pornhub got slapped, and along with all other porn sites, that in the state of Virginia, you actually can't go in until you verify that you're actually 18. No longer pushing, are you 18 years old? And of course, the kid's going to be like, yep. Now you have to verify or it won't let you in. And because of this, Pornhub just shut down in Virginia and you can't have access to it. And honestly, good. This type of stuff is why we're in a moral decay. And yes, I'm not saying that it's bad to have sex. I'm not saying it's bad to party and have a good time. But there's a big difference between Pornhub and the stuff found on Hunter Biden's laptop and having cocaine in the White House. Let's go through the litany. You've got the Democrats that are like, Joe Biden is the most qualified and honorable person to ever run for president. And his son is the most honorable and decent person that vice presidents have ever had for a child, or presidents or senators. He's just amazing. Stop focusing on his drug addiction, his alcoholism, his infidelity, his shady dealings with foreign governments. Try focusing on the person as a whole. And this message is just completely bunk. This is the problem with this presidency, is there's no accountability. Can you imagine if this was Donald Trump and cocaine was found in the White House? They would have the DEA in there. There would be immediate 100% dismissal of staff. People would be sent home. Articles of impeachment would be drafted. His house would be raided. He would have ties to Cuba and drug dealers and Castro. They would make this guy sound like the third supporter of Santiago. Make him sound like he literally washes all of the cocaine and ships it and flies a frickin' plane instead of playing golf, which is a cover, all the way from South America to Florida every single weekend, Donald Trump. This is what they would do. It would be in the 24-hour news cycle, but this gets page 3. Let's stop pretending that these things are normal. Let's look at the last month and a half at the White House. If you go back in history, you can look at Barack Obama and how many ways he disgraced the White House by having Black Panthers show up, by having rappers talking about how they want to kill cops. Yeah, not the best image. There is a way to say no. You want to protect the imagery of the White House like you protect your virtue. Just say no sometimes. Stop saying yes. Let's look at the pride flag flying level with the United States flag. The optics of it. Yes, fine. You want to celebrate pride? Okay, whatever. But maybe you shouldn't replace the U.S. flag. Maybe it shouldn't be in the left and right position, but should be the position of focus and always be higher than the other flag it's being displayed with. How about the transgender flasher that I alluded to? Foul-mouthed and flashing boobs and genitalia in front of the White House lawn. Fantastic. Hunter in the White House, it's a controversy. The guy is a felon. He's got charges, now charges that are basically nothing, but we've seen the laptop. There are thousands of images of him nude, smoking crack, having firearms, having sex with prostitutes, having family relatives who are underage doing cocaine. These things don't look good. And it doesn't help when Joe is stumbling and bumbling all over his words. And now you got crack in the White House because nobody's saying it. They're saying it's cocaine. Even I did a little graphic today that I'll pop up where it says, or it shows the snowflakes coming down in a pile of cocaine. It's crack, folks. It's not cocaine. It's stepped on. It's crack. It's mixed with hydrochloride. And the press is covering this up that it's just some sample residue found in the library. It doesn't matter. It's crack in the White House. This is the White House who's against guns, but son has guns. A White House who's against drugs, but son has drugs. A White House who's against prostitution, but goes ahead and has a son who hires prostitutes. A White House who throws another president on trial for fictitious and made up stuff, but you've got a son who's taking millions of dollars and a Biden family who has millions of dollars. given to them by the Communist Party of China and other countries and foreign nationals who are not declaring themselves as foreign operatives working in the United States. They sit there and freak out over Donald Trump and his classified documents and nuclear secrets, but Joe Biden has cases and cases of them and 6 times says, oh, no, that's all of them. We've got them all. And then, oh, no, here's more. Well, that's obstruction, isn't it? I mean, what's good for the goose should be good for the gander. But let's stop pretending that Hunter Biden should be the focus. He shouldn't be. Who cares about Hunter Biden? Every family has screw-ups. I understand. I'm a recovering addict myself. I got habitually addicted to Oxycontin and hydrocodone for my back and my back surgery, 16 back surgeries. Hurt myself in the military. I get it. Addiction's a pain, and I'm not making fun of his addiction. I'm making fun of the fact that these things keep happening. Let's stop pretending that the history of Hunter Biden is this immaculate road of pure, driven, unsnorted snow, because it's not. Hunter Biden was granted an age waiver at 43 years old to enter the U.S. Naval Reserve as a PAO, a public affairs officer, where he had no experience. This seems to be a trend, paying millions of dollars for paintings when he has no experience being a painter, working for Burisma as a CEO when he has absolutely no experience in energy or taking bribes. The only thing Hunter is really good at is stepping on crack and sharing it with people of shady design. As he went in and got those waivers to work in the U.S. Navy, and this Reserve Commission Board is very rare when it brings anyone in who's not a doctor or a dentist or a previous pilot to get a direct commission. It's usually used for people who are a little bit older, who have experience that the military needs. And Joe Biden got this from his father. His father pushed him through. His father swore him in, and this was an exception. And then ultimately embarrassed good old dad as he did drugs again and was ceremoniously removed from the United States Navy for not a dishonorable discharge, but for other reasons. And those reasons are, as expeditious and quickly as possible, let's cover up our mistake. I want to be clear, I'm a dad. And my son was on a 45, 50 foot jump station where he would have a hydraulic cable that would catch him about a foot and it would engage and then slowly lower him down to the bottom. But you do have to jump. And he's 10 years old. My daughter reluctantly went. And my son, as I was up there with him, I simply told him, you have a choice. You're already dressed. The way down is going through all those obstacles again and then going down that ladder, or you can get over your fear and jump. And either one I'm okay with. But what I don't want to hear is once you do that, and once you decide to take off this gear and go the other way and go the long way, and we get in the car and we're driving home, and 2 hours later we pull up to the house, and then at night the demons come and you start questioning yourself, going, why didn't I jump? Why was I scared? This would have been fun. I should have done it. I saw other people do it. I don't want to hear it. I want to hear it now. I want to know what your fears are. I want to know what you're afraid of. I want to know how I can help you overcome them. I won't push you like my dad would have or my jump master did out of a plane. I'm not going to do those things. I'm simply going to say, what are your trepidations? What are your hesitations? And let's get through them together. This is a prime example of that. Joe Biden has stood by his son, and that's wonderful. He says it comes from a place of love. You know what? After so many times getting bit by your kid, there's got to be a point where you might just say, you know what? I love you, but I don't like you, and I don't want you in my life. And this is the problem. It's the decision quality. Joe Biden is constantly marred by these unbelievably insatiable and contradictory stories. We're all human. We've all made mistakes. We understand drugs and family. We understand depression and family. We understand having a person who's too old who stumbles over their sentences. We understand people who try to say their resume is better than it's not, or better than it is. Jill Biden, Dr. Jill Biden. We've all have these things in our family, but the one thing that we do have also is accountability. And if we were to do these things, have an illegal firearm or lie on an application or have 2 grams of crack cocaine or have prostitutes or underage girls on a laptop, whatever it is, not pay our taxes, millions in taxes, there would be repercussions. And my son knew that if he didn't go, that he might feel this way. And that was what's called accountability, self-accountability. So the morning on the breakfast table, I looked over at him. I said, any regrets? And he goes, like he doesn't want to talk about it. I said, no, it's okay. We can talk about it. What I didn't want to hear is a bunch of whining. And he goes, I'm upset I didn't go, and I should have went. And I'm kind of upset with myself. And I said, that's completely acceptable and completely normal. That is called accountability, self-accountability. Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, his family, there is no accountability for this administration. And it doesn't matter whether they are caught spying on Trump's campaign or manufacturing evidence or weaponizing the DOJ or the IRS or covering up Hunter's infidelity or his child that won't even be able to have his name out of wedlock, who got a prostitute pregnant and decided to go ahead and ignore that child. All of these things, although normal in a normal society, there is a pay the piper mentality that happens with us that doesn't happen with these people. And this is a perfect example. If we found cocaine in any other White House, this would be an absolute circus. And here it gets page 36 on the back column with Hillary Clinton's classified of how she feels that it wasn't the sexist, it wasn't the misogynist, it was simply a bad time for a woman to be president. Hillary will find any reason to say that. Of course, like most Democrats, there's little accountability that it's actually them that's the problem and not necessarily us. And maybe that's where we find the soul of America again, as we stop blaming Americans for our division and how we need to come together. Maybe these politicians need to start setting the standard and holding each other accountable before it's too late. Folks, thanks for watching the Don't Unfriend Me Show. It's good to have you. Happy 4th. Hope you had fun. Hope you had a good time. Stop by thedumshow.com if you would not mind. Pick yourself up a shirt, a hat, some coffee, all that type of stuff. And make sure to watch us tonight at 8 o'clock. Olivia, Leroy, myself, and Amy will all be in the house live at 8 o'clock. You can find us across all social, Twitter, everywhere else. We hope you have a blessed weekend. God bless. Talk to you tonight or see you tomorrow.
I'm David Boreanaz with the Cast of SEAL team, and we have an important message for returning vets.
We want you to know if you're struggling to cope, there's help and it's just a phone call away.
The Veterans Crisis Line is staffed with experienced professionals who know your struggles.
There's no greater sacrifice in service to our country. We're able to enjoy our freedoms because of it.
Your service is important, you are important.
For vets and their families, the Veterans Crisis Line is here to help 24 hours a day. Please call